All right, here we go. Time to go live. Still experiencing problems with the go live button. It's not as seamless as it once was. Hi, everybody. My name is Pugs, and this is The Rant. We do this every day here from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Gallery, located inside Dallas's incredible new event space, the Dallas Dragon Art Park. That's how we're going to do it now. I think it's just going to be Dragon Art Park. That's what it is. Dragon Street is the place for all the cool-ass artists and designers and some of the more high-end hoity-toity type people. So we are embracing that. So Dragon Art Park. Threw a rave the other day. We're doing big things. We're going to have a poker game. All kinds of things are coming here to the Dragon Art Park, and I can't wait. How are you? Hi, Adam. We got Adam in the chat room. I see him. I see Peter. I see Mike. I see Taronda. I see KB. Let's see. Let me make it bigger so I can see more. If, in fact, there are more. I know it's a weird noon show. These shows are going to pop up now that we have more things going on. We're going to try and find the window every day and slide in. Not going to be able to say that every show is going to be at noon, every show is going to be at 2, every show is going to be at 1. I'm going to try and do content every day. So be sure to like and subscribe and do all of the things that I'm told I'm supposed to say that I never do. Do all of those things, please. Hi, Jeff. Jeff's here. Let's see. Okay, so it is day 3 of me shaving the beard and just going with the, fat, strong man from an old-timey. I swear to God, that's what I see. I just see like a fat, strong. Here's what I need to do. Saw a guy at the Kroger yesterday, because as you know, I stop by the Kroger just about every day. Saw a guy at the Kroger yesterday who had the shaved head in the mustache, right? No beard, just mustache, shaved head. And he had the real old-timey strong man from a turn-of-the-century sideshow. He had the mustache that curled at the end. And I looked at this gentleman in the Kroger from a good distance. I didn't want to approach him because that style of mustache can often be menacing, if you will. So I looked at him, and I just thought to myself, I cannot pull that off. And I wish I could. Oh, my God, I'd love to have the mustache that goes out to the end. I'm physically capable. Look, if it has to do with growing hair on your face, I can do it. I'm a world-class face hair grower. Yeah, I think we have problems up on top. But the face, I'm on top of. So I could grow that, but I just couldn't pull it off. I would look weird. And I'm not trying to look weird. Trying to look normal. All right. So anyway, day 3 of the new, I got a compliment from somebody who, now look, you make a drastic change. I said this, you do any kind of drastic change to your physical appearance, and your boys, if you have proper boys, your boys will just make you feel terrible about it. That's their job. That's how you know they love you. And you just take it. You look like, and then all of a sudden there's like a million things, right? You look like a testicle with, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not that clever, but I have clever friends, and they would say terrible things. And you can put no stock in that. You can put zero stock in it because they're your friends. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're not looking at you like, you look good now, because they never thought you looked bad before, because they don't see you in that way. You're just one of their dudes, right? So now you're different, and now you need to get your balls busted. So that's understandable. I've experienced that. But yesterday, I got a compliment from somebody who comes to trivia on Tuesday nights at Back 9. Tuesday night trash trivia at the Back 9 every Tuesday. I'm going to tell you about that last night because that was bonkers last night. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I hope we can replicate whatever happened last night at the Back 9 tonight at Bottle Rockets. And I'll tell you about that as well, because there is a place to go and hang out and have a little fun with yours truly this evening. Bottle Rockets in Legacy Village. So one of the people who play trivia, who, ain't going to this or that, but they were like, oh my God, you look so good. And it made me feel so nice, because this person is, and by the way, this is a person that is, I usually argue with this person about trivia questions. They're always got the Google out. Well, that's not technically true. My answer could, they're one of those people. So, but no, they were very nice. So I felt good. And that is the power of compliments. Whether it's true or not, people, seriously, compliment somebody. Make it up. What? Why? Because we generate things with every breath. If you believe in energy and all that fucking shit, and I kind of do, I think a lot of times, these energies and the ways of the world, I think they're misinterpreted by people. So you can call it faith, you can call it religion, you call it whatever you want. But we as individuals create a wake with our every action. And, why not make that wake positive? Why not tell a stranger something nice, make them feel good? No, Byron, I'm not saying that you can hang out at the mall and whistle at chicks. Yes, that is technically a compliment, but no, that is not the kind. All I'm saying is I felt good. I was like, oh, thank you. Felt good because earlier in the day, April fucking destroyed me. You look like fucking, like April's one of my boys. I don't need that from April. April's one of my good friends. She's a chick. I need sensitivity and kindness and understanding from my chick friends. I get enough of the ball busting from everybody else. There you go, April. Taking shots at me. Okay, so last night, let me tell you first off about Trash Trivia Games, DFW. Please go to Facebook right now and follow that page just because it's going to tell you where we're going to be and what kind of prizes and who's winning and all that kind of stuff. And we're really trying to crank this whole nighttime, go out, have some fun, have a couple of drinks, and be home by 10. That's the big thing, right? We're older now. We don't go out, and we can still go to bars. We're just not going to close them anymore. Or get home at a very respectable hour. So last night at Bottle Rockets, I was a little bit, Bottle Rockets has a really good, solid core of people who come every week to play, right? So if a couple of those people are missing, it could look bad. I mean, we never have less than 5 or 6 teams, right? So that's a decent, game of trivia. But I was worried that last night was not going to be good. I walked into Bottle Rockets to an absolutely jam-packed parking lot. First time ever. Packed parking lot. I had to park over on the side. So I walk in and I see some of our regular players. You got M's Degenerates there at the corner bar. It's like a super team of 8 people, and they all play on one card, and they dominate. And I know you might be out there thinking, well, that's not fair. What if I want to play alone? Well, be better. That's what I would say. Be better. This is a real achievement. If you can take out the M's Degenerates teams that gather every fucking Tuesday there at Back 9, if you can take them out, because that's like 8 people. Now, granted, they're all drunk, right? They're all these are the hardcore. They're there every night. They play trivia. But it's a team of 8 people, and they dominate. They do really well. Last night, it came down to the final category, because it was neck and neck the whole night. And I'm here to announce that WPAP afternoon host James Parker alone, all by himself, beat a team of 8 last night. Woo! Now that needs to be credited. The problem with M's Degenerates is in the first round, they're not that drunk. In the first round, they're actually, they do well, and they're like, all right, let's pool our resources here. What do you know? Sports, art, all that kind of stuff. So they do well in the first round. But then the shots come out in between rounds, and they just fall off the table in the second round every single week. Sometimes they don't fall off enough to actually give up their first place position. Last night they did. They had a terrible second round. James Parker went 19 out of 20 in the second round, and he took down the 8-headed behemoth that is M's Degenerates. Got his cool ass bag of drugs. Well, drugs, they're legal hemp. Anyway, so I walk in last night and the parking lot is jammed. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I worry because that means there's probably a private party that's been prearranged. And I'm not going to interrupt the private party with my little trivia game. So I walk in and I look around and I see we typically have this table set up in front of where I do my trivia. I do my trivia from what would be the DJ booth. And there is a table that is always empty. And we use that table right in front there for like prizes and, little stuff like that. Games, tiebreaker games, stuff like that. Not last night. There was 15 people at that table. There was an entire, and I walk in and I say, look, man, and not only that, but there were a bunch of other people there too. So I walk in and I say to Scott, he runs the bar, and I go, dude, you want me to delay this? I go, I don't want to push them out. And he goes, they're here to play trivia. And I'm like, what? What? This table, you mean I just didn't luck into this table? This is actually a full giant table of new people? Well, then it sunk in. One of the people at this table has been there before and plays on a team, right? It's usually just her and her friend, and they come and they play and they sit in the back and they're great. Mel, I think is her name. And last night apparently was Mel's birthday, and she brought everybody from work because she has been talking about how much fun she has on Tuesday nights at the back nine. So we had that party. Then there was another group of people that usually come and play, and they usually bring like 3 people. They brought like 7 people last night. Oh my God, I was so thrilled. So thank you to everybody who came out last night, and I hope I pushed it enough. I hope you're all liking the Trash Trivia DFW page, because that's how you find out where our next party is going to be. Like tonight, we're going to be at Bottle Rockets. Wednesday, Bottle Rockets. It's me and James Parker. This is different than trivia. This is a whole bunch of games we do at Bottle Rockets. We do trivia. Don't worry, you will get some rounds of trivia in there because we do like to do that. But we also do music bingo at Bottle Rockets, which has really become fun. I want to start doing music bingo at all the places that we do trivia, because music bingo is an awesome way to play. Just kind of kill the time between the trivia rounds, because you're still playing something and you're hearing music. And anyway, that's tonight at Bottle Rockets. Hey, last night at the back nine, we usually bring out the football table, where we play paper football and all that. Couldn't put it up last night. It was too crowded at the back nine. Couldn't put the table up. Put the football table right back in the car. And I'm like, all right, we're doing trivia tonight at Bottle Rockets in Legacy Village, right there off the tollway. Legacy Village and the tollway, Bottle Rockets in Plano. It's the coolest bar in North Texas, man. This place is so nice. It looks like a Vegas sports book. It's so nice. All right, that's tonight, 8 o'clock, 8 to 10. All right, that's enough of that. Oh, I do mean to mention this. Of course, the big money prize tournament, $500 in cash to be doled out to the tournament winner, American Metal Whiskey. Thank you, American Metal Whiskey, for making this tournament have an actual by the way, the tournament has started. We are keeping all of the cards, and we are keeping track of scores and all the people that won, and we will be inviting specific teams once we get into the money round. So remember that. Come out and register tonight at 8 o'clock at Bottle Rockets for the American Metal Whiskey Trash Trivia Tournament of Trash. That's what it is. Hey, American Metal Whiskey. Do you like America? How about metal? Try American Metal Whiskey today. It's me. It's my branding agency. I just came up with that. Well, I came up with it when I was typing. American Metal Whiskey. Do you like America? How about metal? Try American Metal Whiskey today. Thank you. That's how slogans are built. What's wrong with the microphone? Oh, God. Really? Is the microphone doing that thing? All right, hold on. Thank you, April. I appreciate you. Yeah. The microphone sucks right now today. I hate that. I just found out now. I hate that. Thank you, though. Appreciate you, April. Okay, hold on. All right, how's that? All right, let me know. That should be better. Crazy situation we got here. All right, I will now wait for one of you to tell me that it sounds better. I was doing some things, and yeah, I know I was on the computer mic, but I shouldn't be on the computer mic anymore. I hate this delay. I hate the delay. Come on. There we go. Thank you, April. That's what I was waiting for. Jesus, that delay is long. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. That was my fault. That was not. I'd love to blame it on Restream or the microphone, but it was entirely my fault. All right, so that's what I needed to mention. And tonight, trash trivia games. There you go. Come on out, Bottle Rockets. Come on. Myself and James Parker from WBAP afternoons 2 to 5. Check them out. We're there every Wednesday night, 8 to 10. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? There's a whole lot of ugly shit to talk about today that I don't really want to get into. You know me. Get me started, huh? I'm not touching the Comey thing. I'm not going in. I don't give a fuck. Okay, whatever. This shit's happening. So I'm not going to talk about that. Right? Because what do I say about this show? This show is for normal people. Normal people are not having coffee with their friends today and going, what do you think of James Comey? I mean, that's not what normal people do. So we're not going to touch that. The troops stuff. We're going to talk a little. I got a couple of thoughts on some new developments that have occurred overnight, especially concerning my fair city of Chicago. We'll talk about that. We got to investigate. This Dolly Parton situation. Are you starting to get worried? I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Did you hear about Dolly Parton's sister? Dolly Parton's sister is out there on Instagram saying she needs everybody to pray and all this stuff for Dolly, and she's going through some stuff, so we're going to have to get into that. No, not applause. Oh, my God, we can't lose Dolly. She's not that old. She's not that old. She is just a queen of an American. She is unstoppable. She is kindness incarnate. All our celebrities should strive to reach the level of Dolly Parton. So we'll get into that. Got some lists we'll go through. There's a hot mugshot that's going around. So we'll talk about the hot mugshot. We'll also talk about the story that is associated with the hot mugshot. So we'll get into that. We'll watch some videos about Karens going crazy. You know, I love my Karen videos. Okay. And a whole bunch more. Anything that we stumble across, we'll get into that as well. But first, let's start here. This is breaking news that I just saw before we signed on here. So I'm not as up on it as maybe I should be. But remember the Palisades fire in Los Angeles? It started on, I just read it. Why did you say you think? See, I said, I think. That was like a weird, protect my ego from this. So I'm going to say, I think it's. No, I fucking read it. I made a choice in that moment to lie to you. I know. I shouldn't obsess on these things the way I do, but I'm weird. It started on New Year's Day. New Year's Day, the Palisades fire in California, terrible. We watched videos. We saw the pictures. Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles was beautiful, and now it's gone. It completely burned down, right? And I don't think we've been thinking about that much. That's a natural disaster, right? We put everything in boxes, right? Store it away in our memory banks. We're like, oh, fire in California. That's going to happen. That's God. That's just going to happen. So I didn't think there was anything else coming, but apparently an arrest has been made, and arson is believed to be the root of the Palisades fire in Los Angeles that burned for days, weeks. I don't know. It burned for a while. It was a big story and destroyed just billions and billions of dollars worth of property and homes and all of that kind of stuff. Well, here it is. Breaking news this morning. An Uber driver has been accused of intentionally starting the fire that destroyed the Pacific Palisades. Uber driver, LA, started the fire. It's going to let it sit there for a while because a bunch of you are like, I wonder what that guy looks like. Probably some Somalian who hates America and is, because we can't help but go political. There is a white guy, just a regular white guy, just a regular 29-year-old piece of shit, run-of-the-mill white guy, okay? So we don't get to hear all of the, well, see, this is why we need to get them all out of the... No, it's just a white guy, just a disillusioned American loser who felt entitled that life was supposed to be better for him. He doesn't want to be driving Uber at 29, so he's angry at the world and the system that failed him, when in reality, he failed himself, and I think we all know that. Let's go to the story here, breaking out of Los Angeles. The most destructive inferno in Los Angeles history. which charted a devastating path through Pacific Palisades and Malibu earlier this year, was a rekindling fire that an Uber driver intentionally set days earlier near a popular hiking area. What is a rekindling fire? I don't understand that phrase. I'm not a smoke jumper. I'm not, all right, you know what? Because there's a 30-second delay. Maybe I'll just Google it. Kindling fire. What is a kindling fire? It says kindling is essentially well, I know what kindling is. All right, so what are they saying? They're saying you like went out there like a Cub Scout, made a fire with kindling and it all. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to go any further into that. Hold on. I hate when I do this. I have way too many windows open and I get lost. I get lost on my screen. It says authorities on Wednesday announced the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht. German, Aryan, like as white as they got. Not that that's important. It's not important. But to some of you it is. And I'm having a little bit of fun poking at you. Authorities on Wednesday announced the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht, who is suspected of setting the initial fire on New Year's Eve. Rinderknecht of Florida. Oh, he's a Floridian. What's he doing in Pacific Palisades? Saints. Rinderknecht of Florida was charged with starting what eventually became the Palisades fire. Among the evidence that was collected from his digital devices. Oh, they always get you with the phones. You people with your phones. I don't know how to do that. How do you turn your tracking off in your phone? I don't need that. You know what else I don't need? So this has been an ongoing thing. I do not like authorities, whether it's governmental authorities or, the maker of my car, which I'll get into. I don't like when authority figures, try and do things that are in my best interest, but not necessarily what I would choose. For instance, I'll give you an example. I don't want the tracking on my phone. If I go out in the woods and I decide, and I don't want to be found, I don't want I'm not worried. I'm a grown ass man. Okay. I'm not worried about somebody snatching me off the streets. First of all, I look very white. Nobody's going to snatch me off the streets. I'm also, I'm a middle, whatever. I'll fight my way out of it. The other thing that I hate that I always talk about, and this is another example of that. Have you ever looked inside your trunk? Have you ever looked inside your trunk? When you look inside your trunk, on the top of the trunk, there is an emergency release latch that you can pop. So if you get stuck in the trunk, you can just pull that latch and the trunk will open. First of all, who's getting stuck in their own trunk? Okay. Who is this for? Are we protecting the fucking idiots again? Why are we doing this? Here's my objection to it. What if, and I don't know what the context of this situation is, but what if I need to put somebody in my trunk and I don't want them to get out? Why is Chevy Motor Corporation making it easy for my people to escape? I know that sounds silly, but really drill into it. Think about it. They have no rights. Don't be nannying me. If I get stuck in my fucking trunk, then that's on me. You don't need to provide me with it. But also, if I want to put, I don't know. I don't know what I would put in there. It just bothers me. Not a lot. I don't lose sleep over it, but it is something that I'm like, fuck that. Why did they put that in there? I don't think that's good. But anyway, they got this super German from Florida. They got him with the phone tracking and all that kind of stuff. It says here, among the evidence collected with digital services, he posted or created an image on ChatGPT depicting a burning city. So they're like, look what he did on AI. First of all, kudos to the fire starter, Jonathan Rinderknecht. Yeah, you'll hear about 5 or 6 different pronunciations of that name. I haven't committed to one. Rinderknecht. That's what we're going with. We're going with Jonathan Rinderknecht. Kudos to him. Early adopter of ChatGPT. I mean, or maybe just a young person. Maybe because January of last year, I don't think I heard of ChatGPT until like June. It was like June when I started going, what's that? Let's see here. It says, while we cannot undo the damage and destruction that was done, we hope this arrest and the charges against him will bring some measure of justice to the victims of this horrific tragedy. Here, let me show you this guy. We'll put his picture up there. He doesn't look happy. He looks like a sad boy. He looks like he probably was one of these kids that was walking around at 15 going, I'm going to be a billionaire by 30, and then it didn't work out, and he doesn't know how to deal. And he's angry at everybody because nobody gave him $1 billion. His YouTube channel did not take off. All right, that's him. Let's get back into the story. Let's find out more of the details about how this clown was caught. We are looking at a photo of the man who apparently started the Palisades fire from last year. That's who you're looking at right there. All right, let's go. Let's see. It says, while we cannot undo the damage and destruction that was done, we hope this arrest and the charges against him bring some measure of justice to the victims of this horrific tragedy. The findings affirm a long-suspected theory about the fires and comes after 9 months of a probe into the causes of the fire itself, which charred 23,400 acres and leveled more than 6,800 structures, including many homes in Pacific Palisades and Malibu. 12 people died in the fire. Them's rich people homes too, man. There ain't no poor people that live in Pacific Palisades and Malibu, at least not since like the late 60s, early 70s. It's all super rich people. And 12 people died. 12 people died, this son of a bitch. Good Lord. The first fire, which was called the Lockman Fire, that was reported about 17 minutes after midnight on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It was in the hillside above Pacific Palisades. It was reported first by a resident whose home is about 2 blocks away from the popular Skull Rock Trail. Some residents say they saw fireworks in the area, but authorities said that they do not believe fireworks were involved in the start. Authorities did not provide specifics about how the fire started, saying only that it was ignited by an open flame. Let's see. The prosecutor says that Jonathan Rindenknecht, the guy we're looking at, drove to Pacific Palisades after working the evening shift as an Uber driver. 2 of his passengers told law enforcement that he appeared agitated and angry that night. Well, how does that work? Did you just randomly take an Uber on New Year's Eve and then like 6 months later, the police are at your door going, hey, do you remember an Uber ride on New Year's Eve? And I'm like, dude, I was fucking drunk. I took like 4 Uber rides on New Year's. I don't know. Which one? It says here, 2 of his passengers told law enforcement that he appeared agitated and angry that night. Rinderknecht, who once lived in the neighborhood, oh, fancy, drove towards Skull Rock's trailhead, parked his car, and then attempted to contact a former friend. And it's interesting how that's written. Former friend or no longer a friend? Like the former friend suggests there was some kind of a falling out and they no longer like each other. Or is this just poor journalism? And the friend is now on record as being, he started the fire. I'm not a friend. He is a former friend. I don't know. Why did you call a former friend? Hey, man, I'm about to do something really crazy. I know I haven't talked to you since the 7th grade, but what you been up to? All right. I shouldn't get bogged down in details, but it says he used his iPhone to take pictures at the area known as the Hidden Buddha. Hidden Buddha. That's the area. And he listened to a French rap song. Un Zinder, un... Oh, we got to hear this song, don't we? Yeah, I think we got to hear this song. Hold on. All right. French rap. You guys know there was such a thing? I did. Oh, how do we not hear the song? Hold on. Well, maybe YouTube. Maybe YouTube will have it because I can't find my hook for the Spotify. All right, where's the song? Let's listen to the French. He's into weird French rap songs. Let's see. What? What is this? What am I looking for here? Is this it? All right, this is the kind of music he's into. All right, hold on. Let's give this a listen. Let's see. This is what he was listening to while he started the fire. Here. Okay. All right, never mind. We don't need that. All right, there you go. He's into weird music. He's 29 years old. All right, let's keep going. Let's find out more about him. All right, so here's where we are. It says he called a former friend. He used his iPhone to take videos at the area known as the Hidden Buddha Clearing and listened to a French song, whatever. Let's see here. In the music video, well, we didn't see we just heard the music. I didn't see a music video. It says in the music video for that song, it shows a trash can being lit on fire. They're just trying to attack. Come on, stop it. That doesn't mean anything. It's just red. Oh, and then look, there's fire in the video. That must be. Oh, stop it. Although I don't know, he looks like a crazy person, so who knows? But still, I'd be like, if I was in that meeting with the detectives and I was a detective, I'd be like, I'd roll my eyes. I'd go, ugh. He used his iPhone to take videos at the area known as the Hidden Buddha Clearing and listened to a French rap song, Un Zindre Undi, whose music video shows a trash can being lit on fire. The theme of the song is one of despair and bitterness. Yeah, we heard a little bit of it. That sounded very bitter and despondent. Prosecutors wrote in the criminal complaint, and Rinderknecht had listened to it 9 times in 4 days before he allegedly set the fire. Again, Your Honor, I'm sorry to have to say this, but that is in no way, shape, or form, Your Honor, any kind of indication of what my client was motivated to do. Can I play? Your Honor, if it pleases the gentlemen and ladies of the jury, I would like to play said song, and then he'll play it. Your Honor, I maintain that him listening to this song is simply because this song is an undeniable banger. I rest my case. It's an undeniable banger. Yours Honor. He used his iPhone to take videos at the area known as Hidden Buddha, clearing blah, 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 French song, listen to that, blah, blah, blah. The theme of the song is one of despair and bitterness. Prosecutors wrote in the criminal complaint. He apparently listened to it 9 times in 4 days before setting the fire. Yo, what if it was like Billy Joel? What if it was like, we didn't start the fire, or Talking Heads, burning down the house? I mean, he could have been a little bit more. How about the roof? The roof is on fire. Bruce Springsteen, fire. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Or Pointer Sisters version. Fire. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. He's not making it easy for him. The detectives were like, God damn, I wish he was a Talking Heads fan. That would have really made this easier for us. While on the phone with 911, yeah, he called 911. He started the fire, watched it go, drove away, and called 911. While on the phone with 911, Rinderknecht allegedly typed a question into ChatGPT. Here's the question he typed while he was on the phone with 911. First of all, you're doing something else while you're on the phone with 911? I mean, I've only been on the phone with 911 a couple of times in my life, but I'm like dialed into that conversation because typically I'm freaking out. I'm not ChatGPT searching things. While on the phone with 911, Rinderknecht allegedly typed a question into ChatGPT. That question: are you at fault if a fire is started because of your cigarettes? This according to the criminal complaint. That's weird. Is it an accident? I mean, what? Because it doesn't sound like the way the prosecution is framing this, that they believe this was an accident. But then in the moment, you got him going, I chucked my butt out the window and it caught on fire. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. It goes on to say Rinderknecht then got into his car after calling 911, after starting the fire, after calling his friend, after listening to a total French rap banger. Got into his car and drove away from the fire, passing fire engines that were screaming through the neighborhoods. He later told investigators that he turned around and offered to help the firefighters. Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not good in retrospect because it plays into that whole I start the fire to be a hero kind of thing that a lot of people do, which is a weird thing. And maybe that's what he's about, but I don't know. Says that he did momentarily think about turning around and going back and helping the firemen. Because, boy, let me tell you, I know a few firemen, and they like nothing more than just people, civilians coming out going. While the suspect was arrested in Florida, authorities said that he lived in Southern California at the time of the event and had a friend who lives in the area around where the fire started. Romantic friend? Like, was this a girl thing? Like, he got off work at Uber, he's angry, he's got to work New Year's Eve, he's going to go over to a friend's house? I don't know. While the suspect was arrested in Florida, authorities said that he lived in Southern California at the time and had a friend who lives in the area around where the fire started. He moved to Florida after the fire and made false statements to authorities, prosecutors said. Let's see here. It goes on and on and on, but that's about it. That's our guy, Jonathan Rinderknecht, 29-year-old Uber driver from Florida. He is being charged with starting the fire that began that awful, awful Pacific Palisades situation from just a few months back. So, okay, so we can put a pin in that. I didn't even know that we needed to be following that case. I thought that was just done. I thought it was just Earth being Earth, God being God, Mother Nature being Mother Nature. But no, it turns out that there's actually now going to be a trial, and this will be a big one because this dude did a lot of damage. And again, let's not undercut it. 12 people died. He murdered 12 people with his actions. Hi, Al. Al's in the chat room. He says, hello, amigo. I say, hello, amigo, back to you. Barney's got a good point here. This is something that I think we can delve into. Barney says that he doesn't have any. Do you know what it is? It's the computer. I need a much. Never mind. Barney says, I can't think of a single person I would describe as a former friend. Well, I can. I have a number of former friends. I have a number of people who I'm like, that fucking guy turned into a dick. I got a number of those. And it's always a possibility. Not many, though. I'm like sitting here thinking, I'm like, not many, because even the people that I've had a falling out, Gavin Spittle would probably be the former friend. That would probably be the one, but that's all business and work related, and it's like 15 years, and that's kind of nuts. You know, but he, still, it's like, ugh, you did me dirty, boy. Anyway, he was a friend. He was a good friend. So anyway, Barney goes on to say, I mean, just because we got mad at each other and haven't talked in 15 years doesn't mean we aren't friends anymore. Yeah, exactly. It's stupid. Call a former friend. Anyway, that was worded weird in the story. Like, I don't know if the former friend wants to make sure that everybody knows that he's no longer friends with this person, but was friends at the time because he hadn't started the fire yet. I don't know what that's about, but it did seem weird. Let's see. Is he related to Johan van der Sloot? Thank you, Adam. No, I don't believe he is. I think van der Sloot is Dutch, and I think Vendersnacht is definitely German or Aryan or something like that. All right, let's move on. What else do we have to talk about today? Let's get into this. This is... Okay, so... God, this is such a loaded story. This is such a loaded story because... All right, I'll just come right out. So apparently the Trump administration is thinking about pardoning Diddy. I think he's going to pardon Diddy. I think absolutely he's going to pardon Diddy. He's going to see it as a way, look, I like the blacks. It'll be something like that. It'll be, Right now, what I think the administration is doing is they're trying to figure out what kind of cultural or influence Diddy is going to have, when he comes out. Like, is he gone? Or is he going to be re-embraced by the hip-hop community and all that stuff? I don't know. Time will tell. I've given up on trying to predict that kind of thing because people are just too weird. They've proven they're way too weird over the last 10 years. You cannot I can't. Maybe some people can. I cannot accurately determine any longer what's about to happen next based on life experience and context clues. No, because the world is nutty. So who knows? He could come back out and his first thing he puts out will go to #1, and then he does this tour and he's interviewing people, and people are like, "Oh, Diddy's nice now." All right, whatever. He's not nice. He's not nice. And one thing that I know from doing that show, Diddy or Didn't He, on Radio Misfits, which covered every aspect of that trial every single day. One thing that I do know for absolute certain is that Diddy is not a cool guy. Diddy is an asshole. Diddy is a power-drunk emperor. That is how he lived in his personal universe, okay? I've been pretty consistent with that. He seems like a total dickhead. With that said, he wasn't guilty of these crazy charges that they brought against him. He was found not guilty of the serious charges, and yet he was still sentenced to multiple years in prison after already being in prison for a year for charges that you or me or anybody else would not fucking spend any time in prison for. Now, Judge Aram Subramanian, in his sentencing decision, made it clear that there were things that occurred in the trial that couldn't be dismissed. The Cassie video, the fact that the defense, Diddy's own defense team, the fact that they, throughout the course of the trial, really leaned into, yeah, that video's terrible and he feels bad for it, but he's not on trial for that. They really almost glibly leaned into that. And I think that's what the judge is talking about when he says, there are just other aspects. So Diddy got sentenced to 4 years in prison. Nobody on 2 counts that most people would not go to jail for a year for. He's already been in jail for a year, let alone get 4 years on top of that. So that's how I feel about it. So from that standpoint, if we can just remove the name Trump from the president, right? And just President X, it's just President X who's in there. I would not have a problem with a president pardoning this guy after this sentence. I think it's deserved. I think he spent more than enough time in prison. I believe, although as I said just a couple of seconds ago, I don't know if this is going to play out this way, but I believe his career is over. I can't imagine people re-embracing him. So if it was just a generic president, I would be like, yeah, that's something that could seriously be considered. But now we get into, but it's this president, and this president is doing it for purely political reasons. But then I think, almost every president, the generic president I just hypothesized, that generic president would also be doing it for political reasons. So we can't hold that against him. It just feels, because it's Trump, it just feels like there's something wrong with it. But I am telling you, if he decides to pardon Diddy, that will not be a bad thing. I think as far as justice is concerned, that's the right thing. It's why we have these. They railroaded this guy and they destroyed his life. He's an asshole, but he was containing it. And all of the people that were in his life that were supposedly victims throughout the course of the trial, we all learned none of them see themselves as victims. Hell, victim number 3, Gina, who went missing on the first night. If you listen to my sentencing day show, the final show that I did on Diddy, you'll know that Gina, there were three witnesses who were women who were used in freak-offs, and, Diddy filmed them and all. There were 3 of them. There was Cassie, okay? Cassie's the big one we know because there's the video of her, and she's the famous one. Then there was Gina, who was known as number 3, witness number 3. And then there was the second one. I can't remember her name. But the second one, witness number 2, and witness number 1, Cassie, they testified. They told their story. And we found mind-blowing facts about while witness number 2, whose name, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Witness number 2 was on the stand. It was revealed that she has, for the past 5 years, been living in a mansion paid entirely by Diddy. Even like the day she's sitting there testifying, she's going home to a mansion that Diddy is paying the lease on. She's like, I wasn't a victim. It was pretty shitty, but I'm not a victim. All right, so now let's go to number 3, the one who didn't testify, because on the night before the case, she went missing. Oh, and it was a scandal. Diddy got to her. Oh, Diddy's people paid her off, and now she went and hid. And that still may be true. However, as I said, if you listen to the Diddy sentencing show that I did for Radio Misfits, I talked about what was revealed that day, the day of sentencing. What was revealed is that Judge Aram Subramanian received a letter from witness number 3, who all of us trial watchers were like, where is she? She's in hiding. She's not going to testify. The letter from witness number 3 to the judge said, look, I wasn't missing. I wasn't in hiding. I told, through my attorney, I told the defense that they were trying to paint me as a victim, and I am not a victim in this. I was a willing participant. This is the letter that she wrote to the judge. So the defense decided not to call her. The defense decided that putting her up on stand, she had made perfectly clear that if they called her as a witness and got up on stand, she was going to defend Diddy. Well, that didn't play into the narrative that Maureen Comey and the rest of the Southern District of New York prosecution team wanted the jury to hear. So on the eve of the trial, they leaked a story to the New York Post that said that she was missing. She wasn't missing. They were never going to call her. But this prosecution team felt it would be better to put out in the public zeitgeist that there was some controversy and that his dream team of defense attorneys were doing some things. It was bullshit. She wasn't missing. She said, I told them what I was going to say. And they said, yeah, you can't say that. And she said, well, call me to the stand. And that's what I'm going to say. And then they lost her number. They lost her number and pretended like it was her who went and fucking in hiding. She didn't. That's Gina, okay? So we know, and I've been saying it from the beginning, this fucking prosecution is shady as hell. They are really twisting things to make it seem like the absolute worst scenario. So anyway, if Trump is considering pardoning Diddy, it's not a bad thing. Now, Trump haters will be like, oh, corruption. And maybe Trump lovers will be like, oh, maybe they'll be a little confused by it too. But it isn't wrong, is my point. It is not something that we can just dismiss, that Diddy doesn't deserve to be pardoned. Now, if you feel he doesn't deserve to be pardoned and you're as up on the case as me, we can have a conversation about it, and I'd love to have that. But if you're not as up on the case and you just don't think he needs to be pardoned because fucking Diddy, you're a piece of shit and you don't know how the justice system works. Yeah, Diddy's a piece of shit, but he isn't guilty of the things that they tried to say that he did, and now they're putting him in jail for what will be a total of 4 years, well, good behavior, whatever, he'll get out. But what I'm saying is they're putting him in jail for a period of time. It's not fair. It's not fair. And far be it from me to defend an asshole. But they didn't make the case. They didn't make the case. Unless, if you're the kind of person that goes, well, it doesn't matter that they didn't make the case because I saw the video. I saw the video of him beating Cassie. And for that alone, we just need to put him in prison. That's not justice. That's not the American system of justice. It feels good. It feels like it's the right thing, but justice is messy. It's why rich guys with dream team attorneys get away with shit. It's because justice doesn't always work properly. It's like 75% of the time we'll get something that is probably appropriate. 25% of the time they're the outliers and you just got to not worry about it. There is no perfect system of justice in the world. There never has been. Our system here in America is the best that anybody's ever had. Or at least in theory, and we're told to believe that. All right, what is this? Sean Combs, let me give you some of the details here about why this is trending today. Go ahead, take your time, computer. Just spin that icon. There we go. Trump pardoned for Sean Combs under serious consideration as Diddy seeks move to cushy prison for 4-year sentence. He wants to go to a nice prison. I mean, he should be. He shouldn't be in prison at all. So, if I'm like, let him go to Club Fed. He should not be in prison at all. He has spent the last year plus in the Manhattan County lockup, which I imagine is awful. And now, he's got to spend 4 years. They're going to move him to a prison. And he's like, look, you're going to move me to a prison. Move me to one with tennis courts. And I don't have a problem with that. It says a potential presidential pardon is still in the mix for Sean Combs as the Grammy winner and former Donald Trump pal stares down a 4-year prison stint At the same time, after Combs complained at length at his sentence hearing last week about the conditions at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, the Bad Boy Records founder now wants to be relocated to a much cussier, low-security facility in New Jersey. All right, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You got to ask for it. And, honestly, he doesn't deserve to be in prison, let alone a real prison. So put him in Club Fed. All right, let's get into some sad news, some distressing news, some upsetting news. Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. I think she's I think that she's great. I think that she is the American spirit embodied, or at least the aspirational American spirit. She is the person that we should all strive to be like. Loving and bubbly and fun and optimistic and positive and, all that stuff that she's fucking known for that the rest of us can't seem to replicate. Dolly is sick. Now, we know that Dolly was sick a couple of weeks ago when her Las Vegas residency got canceled. She said, yeah, I can't do it. Or a note was released on her behalf. I don't know if she said it. But now we've got something a couple of weeks later that, is a little bit upsetting. Her sister says, pray for her. Sister's desperate plea amid Dolly's health battle. This is TMZ reporting it. So I know that headline sounds like it comes from the Weekly World Mirror, right? But it's TMZ. TMZ's on this stuff. Go ahead, roll your eyes at TMZ. On this shit, on celebrity shit, nobody has more context than TMZ. TMZ has all of the stuff on celebrities. Dolly Parton's sister has fans on edge, revealing online that the music legend pop Amazon days. Oh my God, the pop-ups. Okay, fuck you, Amazon. I get it. Apparently it's Amazon deal days for people with money to spend on shit like that. Dolly Parton's sister has fans on edge, revealing online the music legend ain't doing too good. And she's begging fans for prayers. Not long after Dolly axed 6 shows from her Vegas residency due to health concerns, her sister Frida hit Facebook Tuesday evening, saying that the 79-year-old legend still isn't at her best and pled with fans worldwide to be prayer warriors for the country music legend. Here's what she said. She said, I guess I'll show it to you. Frida. Who's Frida Parton? I wonder what it's like being Dolly Parton's sister. Frida Parton, probably a good life. Because, of course, it's a good life. You know why? Because if your sister becomes famous, if your sister becomes a global icon of kindness and decency and coolness, if your sister becomes that, she's gonna give you a good life. That Dolly probably gave a good life to Frida because Dolly's cool. Frida Parton right here. She says, last night I was up all night praying for my sister Dolly. Many of you know she hasn't been feeling her best lately, and I truly believe in the power of prayer. And I have been led to ask all of the world that loves her to be prayer warriors and pray with me. She's strong. She's loved. And with all the prayers being lifted for her, I know in my heart she's going to be fine. Godspeed, my sissy Dolly. We all love you. All right. So now we got to watch this. So now there's going to be a morning where I'm going to wake up and learn that Dolly Parton's dead. That's on the horizon. There we go. Good times. Good times. Something to look forward to. All right. Godspeed, Dolly. We hope you do. We hope you pull out of it. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about here? Let's go into this. I like this. All right, why not? We'll get into stupid stories since I don't want to get into all the big stuff. Former FBI Director Comey pleads not guilty to federal charges. All right, there you go. I mentioned that. You got that headline. All right, so last night there was a mugshot that was being circulated, and it's it's circulating because it's an attractive woman. Because an attractive woman always, get her mugshot. A bunch of pervy guys are like, I wonder what she did wrong. Bad girl. That old thing gets very weird. But this mugshot was going around, and a lot of people became kind of a thing. Here, let me show it to you. And then there's a story associated with it. So let me give you the story. Here it is. First of all, let me show you her. There you go. Would you look at, oh my God, look at her. Isn't she darling? Oh my God. That's a hot mugshot. I wonder what she did, huh? Wonder what's going on with her. All right, so here's the story. So as we look at her picture, the hot mugshot, it's just clickbait. That's all. Just find a hot chick. So here's the story. Ready? This comes from an organization called Network Access Group. So it's official. So you know this has to be the real story. It says here, Dateline, St. Louis. This happened in St. Louis, Middle America. This could be a girl next door. You could know this girl. It's in St. Louis, not someplace exotic like New York City or Los Angeles. It's St. Louis, middle of America. A 26-year-old Olive Garden waitress was arrested Saturday evening after what police described as a gratuity dispute that got out of control. Oh, okay. So now this is interesting because you've got the picture. You've got my attention with the picture. So now you're going to write a little story about why she got arrested. And the story is, it's very important for this story to not make you think less of her. The story, because right now the clickbait author has got you on the hook because you're looking at a pretty girl because you're a big dumb monkey. And that's like, that's just what you're doing. So now they're going to give you a story. They're going to regale you with a tale that isn't going to make, because right now your brain is going, I could meet her and we could get married and we'll have kids, because that's how fucking stupid people are. And so they're going to give you a story that's not going to disrupt that whole thing, right? You want to like her. You want to be like, oh, she went to jail, but she's not a bad girl because I love her. You know, that kind of thing. So here's the bullshit story. A 26-year-old Olive Garden waitress was arrested Saturday evening after what police described as a gratuity dispute. Oh, what? Somebody didn't tip her and she fucking went off. Good for her, standing up for herself. Witnesses say the waitress had been serving a couple who were on a date night. They ran up a $94 bill with pasta, wine, and appetizers. When they left no tip, she allegedly slammed the receipt onto the table and shouted, unlimited breadsticks doesn't mean unlimited free labor. Norma Ray, Norma Ray, Norma Ray. Yeah, look at her. Sexy, standing up for herself. Police say she then grabbed a basket of breadsticks and hurled it at the couple, striking the man in the chest. As staff intervened, she shoved the woman towards the wall and accused them of stealing her wages. She was arrested on charges of assault and disorderly conduct. Assault with breadsticks. See, not bad, because you're like, no, she's good. That's just, we all, like, this is the guy who's looking at the picture who's like, I want to believe that she's my dream girl. That guy is going, no, it's breadsticks. She's not violent. I could introduce her to my Nana. She's not violent. Yeah, okay, so that's the story. That's the story that took off. You know, a waitress was actually trending last night. And you click on it, and it's all these people going, yeah, it turned into a tip discussion, right? Everybody's like, you got to tip. You shouldn't tip. They chose to do this job. You know, all those age-old moronic arguments about gratuities. Yeah, that ain't the fucking story at all. That is a mugshot. It is a real mugshot. It is not AI, but that is not the fucking story at all. You want to know what the real story is? All right, for my Texas brothers and sisters, we'll get this. We know what went down here. This isn't in St. Louis. This happened down in Brazos, down in Texas. She was fucking floating the river and got rip shit drunk and started a fight with cops. That's what she did. But no, that's not a good enough story. The media, the Twitter and all that stuff, they got to have a more romantic story. Other than this chick, hot as she is a fucking sloppy drunk who gets mouthy and is the kind of chick that nobody wants as a girlfriend. It's the kind of chick that everybody wants to hook up with and take home from the bar, but then you see the other side and you're like, oh, fuck, she's a hot drunk. You guys haven't ever had experiences with that? That is an interesting phenomenon. The hot drunk. The hot female drunk. The hot female drunk gets away with everything. I mean, an ugly female drunk gets away with nothing. That's, as a matter of fact, we're watching them. We're like, hey, Uggo, Yeah, baby, having a little bit too much tonight, huh? Maybe some coffee for you next, Uggo. But no, a pretty girl who's drunk is charming. I mean, she's not. She's sloppy and embarrassing, but because she's attractive, guys will be like, isn't she great? She's fun. My girl can party. Your girl's a fucking sloppy fall down drunk, dude. All right? Anyway, that's what she is, and there you have it. She isn't this waitress who stood up for all service industry people. No, she's not that. She's just a drunk chick who got shitty floating the Brazos and then started a fight with cops. There you go. What's her name? Oh, by the way, she's got one of them names, too. She's got a name. She's got a I fight cops when drunk name. Well, let me see what her name is. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's her name. Her name is Megan Ashley Davis. Oh, she's got a Megan and an Ashley. Whoa! Megan Ashley Davis. Now, it would be worse if her name was Ashley, because I think those of you who are familiar with my broadcasts over the years, I think you should be familiar with my belief that any girl named Ashley is real trouble. Ashleys are, first of all, Ashleys are everywhere. Ashleys are almost always attractive. I'm serious. Tell me, think about it. Have you ever met an Ashley that wasn't at least kind of doable? Ashleys are like Heathers. There are no ugly Heathers. There are no ugly Heathers. There are no ugly Ashleys. Megan is also a troubling name, which is her first name. Megan is always Megan is not a hot girl name though, which is weird. I know Megan Fox. What about Megan Fox? All right, there's one. Name another one. You know, the dumpy chicks you went to elementary school with, they were named Megan, right? They were Megans. Look at Barney. Barney can fix her. Barney's like, I can fix her. Yeah, that's the link. That's why you create that little bit of clickbait, because you know there are guys like me and Barney who will see her and will be like, what's her bail? Let me see what I can scrape together. I'm going to get right down there. I'm going to rescue her. I'm a white knight in waiting. You know, I'm 45 years older than her or whatever. You know, it's fucking weird. I can fix her. Yep. All right. So there you go. That's the sordid tale of Megan Ashley Davis. She is not a proud union service person. No, she's just a drunk on the Brazos, floating down river on a tube, talking shit to cops. That's what she did. What is this? Wait a second. Meg the Stallion, hottest woman alive. I don't know. Megan the Stallion, is she hot? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. But okay, I'm willing to give you that there are exceptions. There are a couple of attractive Megans. I'm just saying, for the most part, Megan is your friend's dumpy little sister. That's, oh, hey, Megan. All right. There was something else that I wanted to go into there. We were getting into like a whole dating thing about sloppy chick drunks and all that kind of stuff. There was somewhere else I wanted to go, but I got distracted by Barney's very funny. I could fix her. Sure could. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going. What else do we have here? I know there was stuff from yesterday. Hold on. I'm trying to find something here. I got a couple other things, but it's too soon. It's too soon for me to go into the closes. I got a couple of closes, but it's too soon. Yesterday I gave any update on Mark Sanchez? No, I don't think there's any Mark Sanchez update that I need to talk about. Oh yeah, there is an update on Mark Sanchez. All right, here you go. That's right, Mark Sanchez update. So we told you the story yesterday about how this is all seeming to shake out. Mark Sanchez was partying in a bar in Indianapolis on Friday night. He's in town for the game on Sunday. They always come into town a couple of days early, usually on Thursday, and they do team meetings and they meet with the coaches and they talk to people. And then, they do that stuff again on Saturday. They attend a Saturday practice, and then Sunday is game day. It's a whole thing. It's a fucking cool life. I mean, if you're like, that's a gig, that's a cool, fun job. You know, every Thursday morning, you're getting on an airplane to go to a different city to go hang out in their best hotel, because these fuckers don't stay in shit hotels. Stay in their best hotel, eat at their best steakhouses, and hang out with a bunch of pro football players for a couple of days before you get back on a plane and go home. It's a good gig. All for that, and you make about $20 million a year. That's not bad, Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, all you guys. Not a bad life at all. All right, so the update to the Mark Sanchez story is that he's in the bar and he's drinking, and apparently he's drinking with somebody else. Now, we don't know who this other person is. Maybe Spiro Ditas. Yeah. Maybe an Ian Eagle. I don't know. Maybe another one of the D team, football play-by-play guys he's in there drinking. Anyway, at some point in the bar, and this is very important detail, because remember, we know that Mark Sanchez appeared in the alley and began barking orders to a working man who was obviously working third shift, replacing the oil at this restaurant. You know, the cooking oil and all that, they come after hours when the restaurant is closed, because that's when they change it out. You can't come in the middle of dinner time and try to do that. What, the fries are going to be down for a half hour? No. So these people who do these jobs, they work these weird, odd hours. And this was a 70-year-old man, 69, I know, but I'm making him 70 because it sounds better. He's a 70-year-old man. He's working the third shift, busting his ass. All-American, hard-working son of a bitch, this guy. Your grandpa, maybe your dad, whatever. He's still out there grinding. And he's just doing his shit on a Friday night. And now, out of the shadows in this alley, he's got his truck backed up to the loading dock like he's supposed to, because it's his job and it's why the loading dock is fucking there. So he's doing that. And out of the shadows comes Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is yelling at him. You got to move the truck. The manager told me you got to move that truck. Because obviously Mark Sanchez is now in charge of downtown Indianapolis. And the truck driver had a hearing aid and he couldn't hear him. He's like, what? What? Dude, I just want to go home. Okay, this is my last stop of the night. Or whatever the truck driver was arguing. Turned into a big fight. We all know the rest. Sanchez got stabbed twice by a 70-year-old man who was fighting for his life. And that's it. That was the story as of yesterday. But I was, wondering, one of the things I was wondering is, what the fuck was Mark Sanchez doing in the alley? What was he doing in the alley? Why did he need the truck to be moved? And why is he like, I talked to the manager, the truck gotta move, right? So that's what it was. Why was he down there? Well, now we know. Now we know what Mark Sanchez was doing. Big dummy. He apparently got into an argument or a debate or a friendly back and forth, however you want to frame it, with somebody at the bar, where Mark Sanchez and this other guy ended up in the alley behind the bar running wind sprints against each other. That's what this was about. Drunk ass Mark Sanchez was probably running his mouth to somebody in the bar going, I was running for the Heisman or whatever. Did he win the Heisman? He's not a Heisman winner. Mark Sanchez, aging sports hero. I can still run a 4.40, or whatever he thinks he's about. And the guy's like, yeah, prove it, man. So they go out behind this bar and they start running wind sprints. This grown-ass man who makes millions of dollars a year, looking all polished on TV. He's drunk. He's running. I bet you he lost. I bet you the Mark Sanchez lost a wind sprint, and that's why he was so fucking angry and charged up at this driver. He wanted the driver to move the truck, because that's the reason I saw the truck and I slowed down and I need to run again. That's probably who Mark Sanchez is. So let's get this guy to move the fucking truck. Hey, can you move the... What, are you talking to me? I'm Mark Sanchez. It turned into that. So there you go. There is an update on the whole Mark Sanchez thing. Oh, here's a story. That's right. We wanted to talk about this. We were going to talk about this yesterday. This is a good one. So, y'all remember the Nirvana Nevermind album cover, right? Nirvana Nevermind. Here we go. I'll show it to you. All right. Bum 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 bum. What the fuck? What? There we go. I'm going to do this one. All right. I'm going to do the one that isn't blurred. No. Fuck. Hold on. Are you fucking kidding me? Ugh. Oh my God. This is going to set me off, you guys. This is going to fucking set me off. All right. Here you go. Look, this is the album we're talking about. Of course, you know, Nevermind. Transformative musical album, I believe. Dropped at a time when nobody was expecting it. I believe one of the most important bridge albums of all time, to say nothing of one of the most important albums of all time. But if you just remember what was topping the charts the week before, Nirvana, Nevermind went to number one. You're talking about Michael Jackson, Bad. You're talking about Ace of Base. You're talking about New Kids on the Block. Okay, that's where music was at. Really slickly produced Hollywood major label pop bullshit. Which, by the way, you know, those songs are fine. They have their place. You know, I hear an Ace of Base song, I'll start moving a little bit. But just think about going from, you know, the number one song in America, I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. And then the next week, it's it was a complete sea change for what the American music consumer was saying, this is what we like today. So it's an important album. I'll get rid of his Megan Thee Stallion thing. All right, so this is the famous cover from Nirvana's Nevermind, right? The little baby in the swimming pool replicating the birth process, chasing the almighty dollar from the very first breath. That is the message. Anti-consumerism, anti-corporatization, all of that. That is the artistic message being conveyed by the people who put this album artwork together, okay? Nirvana, Nevermind. Baby. I'm really fucking pissed off about that black stripe. Yeah, I am. I'm fucking me and all the pedophiles, I guess. That's who's upset about it. I'll explain why I'm upset about that black stripe right there. One, it's a fucking baby. It's not a sexual object. What the fuck is wrong with you for thinking that this in any way, shape, or form could be a sexual object? All right, but we will ignore that. So this kid, this baby that we're seeing here, it all grows up. Obviously all grows up. I mean, 25 years, 25 plus 8, 33 is in his 30s now, this little baby. Well, this kid, this fucking baby, yeah, I know, it's such a cute baby, turned into a total fuckhead. So this kid has spent the better part of his adult life trying to get huge chunks of cash out of Nirvana because he claims that they exploited him through child pornography in their album art. So this kid's been to court like 3 or 4 times over the past 15 years or so. And every fucking time he goes to court, every single time, the judge is like, this isn't child pornography. I don't know what you're claiming happened. I was victimized as a baby. I was thrown in a swimming pool and my pee-pee was showing and I was... No, you weren't. You're a baby. That's a baby. That's actually a fucking really cool picture. And nobody normal, again, and I speak this show to normal people, nobody normal sees a naked baby and goes, oh, that's sexy. So stop with the Nirvana Nevermind album cover is somehow child pornography because it shows a little baby dick. You people are foolish. You're silly. And if you see that and you think it is child pornography, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. You sexually see a child and think that that is something for carnal gratification. That is fucking weird, okay? So anyway, the latest lawsuit has been making its way through. So let me tell you all about this. I'll give you the guy's name and everything. All right, here you go. It is, the headline says, oh, Jesus, Amazon motherfucking Prime. You're killing me today, Amazon Prime. Nirvana again defeats alleged child sexual abuse image lawsuit over Nevermind color. Yeah, they won again. Can we just end this fucking thing? Why don't they just pay him? At some point, just pay him. Say, look, dude, what do you want? What do you need? We're fucking Nirvana. Hi, Dave Grohl. I've got Nirvana money and I've got Foo Fighter money. You know, $5 million? You have 5 million. You could live a nice life for 5 million. I give you 5 million right now. You just get the fuck out of my life forever. Spencer Eldon is the kid's name. Spencer Eldon, who was photographed as a baby and put on the cover of the 1991 album, has attempted to sue the band twice before, claiming it constituted child sexual abuse. A federal judge again threw out a lawsuit. Good, throw it out, judge. Just be like, no, it's a very beautiful baby. I can actually see the artistic message trying to be conveyed through the cover. This is not pornography. This is art, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful little baby. A federal judge again threw out a lawsuit by a man who accused grunge rock band Nirvana of distributing child sexual abuse images by using a photograph of him as a naked swimming baby on the cover of its breakthrough 1991 album, Nevermind. U.S. District Judge Fernando Elguin tossed out the lawsuit filed by plaintiff Spencer Eldon for a second time after finding that no reasonable jury would consider that picture pornographic. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. No reasonable jury. Yet Bing, Microsoft, that image that I just gave you, Bing is like, let's cover up his pee-pee because that's sexy. All right, so there you have it. All right, so the Nirvana thing is over with. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about here? Let's see. Nah, don't want to do that. No, we won't do that. Zach Bryan's got a new song. I love Zach Bryan. I think Zach Bryan's cool. He's God, such a great look. I was introduced to Zach Bryan. I'm not a that kind of music fan, but I was introduced to Zach Bryan at the urging of the great Bruce Springsteen, who I do think is a fucking lyrical and poetic genius. Bruce really likes Zach Bryan, and Zach worships Bruce, and they've worked together. And so that's how I became aware of Zach Bryan. But I really like Zach Bryan. I think he's cool, man. I think he's cool. I think he's smart. I think he's decent. I think those are three things that I don't really see a lot in music stars lately. But I do like Zach Bryan a lot. So he's got a new song. Zach Bryan's got a new song out that apparently is creating all kinds of controversy because he's talking about, here, let me give you the story here. Zach Bryan's new song is angering MAGA. Apparently MAGA is now mad. Are you allowed to be mad at a country singer? Well, yeah, I guess Jason Isbell. Jason Isbell takes a lot of shit. Zach Bryan's got a new song. He's got a line in it. ICE is going to come bust down your door. Zach Bryan teased his politically charged new song called Bad News. Let's see. Let's find out what this is about. Zach Bryan is many different things. To some, he's one of the most introspective writers of our generation. To others, he's a narcissistic sociopath. Yeah. As one of the leaders of today's songwriter first movement, he's undoubtedly one of the most important figures in music today, whether you like that or not. Goes on to say, it's fairly safe to say at this point that for better or worse, the Something in the Orange, which is one of his songs, singer does not really care about the public's opinion of him. From his highly questionable fence scaling stunt last month in pursuit to his long history of social media tirades against seemingly anyone who comes across his feed, Zach Bryan is no stranger to stirring up controversy. Let's see. Despite the whirlwind of headlines Bryan has found himself getting swept up in over the years, his politics have never been the focal point of most. This is, of course, given the fact that he's mainly either been apolitical in terms of current happenings in the world or has taken a fairly moderate stance. Let's see here. Bryan has always existed as pretty moderate, maybe slightly left-leaning, especially on social issues. But let's be honest, nobody is asking Zach Bryan about his views on foreign policy. Undoubtedly more moderate than the likes of Jason Isbell and Tyler Childers. In the newly teased Bad News, all right, here we go. Let's get to the song. In the newly teased Bad News, Bryan begins the song with a fairly standard verse, by his standards, opening the song up by telling his woman that he woke up missing her before dropping a potential reference to his viral 2023 arrest and calling the cops cocky motherfuckers. Yeah, you remember that? That's one of the things I first went, I like that. So he was getting, he was in a situation with cops, and he called the cop, you're a cocky motherfucker. You are a cocky, and the cop was kind of a cocky motherfucker. So I was like, yeah. Anyway, that's what the reference is to. That's something that happened in his past. All right, so here are the lyrics that are stirring controversy for Zach Bryan. It says, I'm going to read it poetically. Didn't wake up dead or in jail. Some out-of-town boy's been giving us hell. I got some bad news. I woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky motherfuckers, ain't they? Okay, so that's a reference to that. But it's the second verse of Bad News that is bound to raise a few eyebrows on both the left and the right. Bryan takes aim at the current ICE raids happening around the country, singing that they're going to come bust down your door. He then makes references to his men. Okay, here we go. We don't need all the fucking exposition. All right, so here's the lyrics that are apparently causing people to be upset with Zach Bryan. And ICE is going to come, bust down your door, try to build a house no one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and alone. The boss stopped bumping. The rock stopped rolling. The middle finger rising, and it won't stop showing. I got some bad news. The fading of the red, the white, and the blue. Whoa! Whoa! I concur, Mr. Bryan. Very, very cool lyrics. All right. I don't have the music though, so I don't know what that all sounds like. I don't know if it's got a good beat that we can dance to. Oh, or do we? Hold on. Is this it? Do we have a little bit of it? What is this? Oh my goodness. Okay, we got a little bit of. I'm sorry, I just found this. How exciting! All right, here we go. Let's see if we can't give this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, hold on. Got to do this again. Beep, bop, I hate using Instagram.
I'm missing you.
Here we go.
My friends
Hold on. Start.
are all degenerates, but they're all I got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky motherfuckers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try to build a house, no one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The boss stopped bumping, the rock stopped rolling. My middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news. The fading of a red, white, and blue.
Here for the beginning again.
Didn't wake up, dead or in jail. Some out-of-town boys been giving us hell. I got some bad news. I woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky motherfuckers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try to build a house, no one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The boss stopped bumping, the rock stopped rolling. My middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news. The fading of a red, white, and blue.
All right. I gotta tell you, I like it. I like it. I like him though. I like his words. I like the way. I like his delivery. I love his sound. I mean, it's like it's all the things. He's got all the things about country music that is cool to me. Somebody not raised on country music, somebody raised in the Midwest on rock and roll and all that stuff, who became aware of country music during the shitty fucking Kenny Rogers and fucking Barbara Mandrell bullshit country pop era, right? That was disposable garbage. But then when I moved to Texas, I started to see, I got a lot of friends who are musicians, and they're like, dude, you don't know country. And I totally became enamored with, the Texas scene or the red dirt rock country and all that kind of stuff. So I've kind of evolved on that. And I just think that Zach Bryan embodies absolutely everything that is cool about the original outlaw scene, the scene here in Texas. He doesn't give a fuck. And he's super talented, which, always helps. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Hey, let's do a list. Should we do a list? Yeah, I got a fun list that we can do. We always like to do lists on cities because you know me, I like to cities or states or whatever. I like to just go through lists and then just take big giant shits on cities and states that I don't like. So that's the whole purpose of us doing these lists, or so I would have you believe. All right, here. I can only fill time for so long. For some reason, Google Drive just took me back to the show on 9/5. All right, here we go. This is okay. All right, so here, this is what we're going to do. What are the best cities in America? Hey, let's talk about the best cities in America, shall we? Now, a lot of times when I give you these lists, a lot of times they're, they come from like Wallet Hub or Ranker, and I try and tell you where they come from. This, ladies and gentlemen, comes from Condé Nast Traveler. What is Condé Nast Traveler? You don't know what Condé Nast Traveler? Oh, really? You don't know what Condé Nast Traveler is? Condé Nast Traveler is one of the world's most elite magazines. Do you know that there is like this group of core magazines? It's like 4 or 5 of them. And they cost like, if you went to a newsstand and you tried to buy a copy of this magazine, it would cost like $60, right? Rich people magazines. The Robb Report, very famous. You want to buy a $300 million yacht, you pick up the Robb Report and you flip through it and you get Town and Country. Town and Country is another one of these super wealthy elite magazines that cost a lot. Condé Nast Traveler is definitely one of those as well. Probably the most high-end, respected name in world traveler that there is. Look it up, Condé fucking Nast Traveler. It's very big and very important. First of all, Condé Nast Publishing publishes like everything. Vogue, Cosmo, Better Homes, and I don't know. I'm just randomly naming magazines, but Condé Nast is a very big organization. So that's who's doing this. So once again, I will tell you, this is a legit ranking. This isn't Wallet Hub. This isn't, I asked my Facebook friends. No, legit ranking. Best big city in America. All right, let's see. What are these? Let's go. Should we start from 10? Hold on. All right, let's go. No. You guys, my page just shit the bed. Nobody cares about that. Oh my God, this is taking forever. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I promise it'll be a fun list. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. All right, these are, according to Condé Nast Traveler, the report of record. These are the best big cities in America. Here you go. Number 10, ladies and gentlemen. How about Seattle? Seattle, Washington. We'll go through it just so you can see. All right, here you go. Condé Nast Traveler says that Seattle is the 10th best big city in America. It says it's Seattle's famous drizzle feels like an afterthought when you're soaking up the view from aboard a sailing hot tub, and the dampness barely registers while looking up at a spectacular waterfall from an indigenous cultural... Oh, please. All right, number 10, Seattle. Never been. Cool ass picture. See this picture we're seeing? Look at the mountain in the background. That's pretty cool. What is that? Is that I should know what mountain that is? Is that like Mount McKinley or something? Mount St. Helen? We only know Mount St. Helens because it erupted, but Mount McKinley's the one that we should know, right? Okay. Anyway, number 10 on the list of America's best big cities for 2025, Condé Nast Traveler. Now remember, who reads Condé Nast Traveler? Really important business people, super wealthy folks, travelers, people who travel all over the world. That's who these stories are written for. Number 10 is Seattle. Number 9, New York City. That's weird. New York City is number 9. I mean, wouldn't you think New York City would be in number 4? I mean, have you ever been to New York City? New York City is fucking awesome. It's fucking incredible. Stop spreading the news. That's a fun city to be in. I don't know that I would want to live there. I always wanted to live there, actually. I always wanted to live there. But now as I get older, I'm like, oh, that ship has sailed. Somebody said to me once that you need to live in New York City long enough that it doesn't make you too hard, and you need to live in Southern California long enough that it doesn't make you soft, and then you need to retire in the Midwest. I love that. I love that. Number 9, New York City. Not doing so well on this list. All right, let's see. Do we have Dallas? Who is this? Nope. Number 8 is Columbus. Columbus, Ohio. I don't know what's so great about Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State? I hate Ohio State. I am not an Ohio State fan. I'm a Big Ten fan, and I hate Ohio State. I hate Ohio State. I will always root for Michigan over Ohio State. I hate Ohio State. All right, number 8 is Columbus, Ohio. What about number 7 in the best big cities in America? San Diego. Look, San Diego's very nice, right? Have you ever met anybody who went to San Diego and went, that place a hellhole? You never hear that about San Diego. San Diego is like what Tampa would be if Tampa was raised better. But Tampa was raised in Florida, so Tampa can't help what Tampa is. San Diego was raised well. San Diego is just this like beautiful. Anyway, San Diego. There you go. Number 7 in our list of the best cities in America, best big cities in America, as reported to the Condé Nast reader. Number 6 is Washington, D.C. Yeah, I would absolutely, if we're talking about best or coolest or whatever big cities in America, Washington, D.C. would be in my top 5. Washington, D.C. is amazing. I mean, there's just a vibe in that city. You just walking or the things you can see. Every place you stand, you're like, that's where this happened. Washington, D.C. is cool. Cool ass city. It looks cool. It's unlike visible optics. It's unlike any city in America. It's like Rome. It's like, oh my God, these are like Roman buildings. All right, Washington, D.C. is number 6. Let's get into the top 5 big cities in America. This is some bullshit. Number 5, New Orleans. I got a lot of friends in New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans a lot. New Orleans. I don't know. Like, my inclination here is to say that New Orleans sucks. New Orleans doesn't suck. Every time I go to New Orleans, I'm like, this place just does not live up to the rep. This place, everybody's like, oh, I had so much fun in New Orleans. I'm like, mosquitoes. It's a swamp. It's stinky. It's musty. It's humid. They have well, they don't anymore. I guess they took care of it. They had like a giant, like 70-story skyscraper right in the middle of downtown or the prime tourist area in New Orleans. They had this massive skyscraper and it was abandoned. It was just a big abandoned. It's like the tenants in the building moved out 15 years ago and the city of New Orleans was like, oh, well, yeah, it's just empty. There was all this like chicken wire fence around it and all that. And it looked like grass was growing through the sidewalks and the walkways. I'm like, this city sucks. You can't do that. You can't just have a fucking abandoned, burned out building in the middle of, and it was a cool looking building too. It wasn't, I think it had like a restaurant on top or something. Anyway, I believe they got that situation fixed and that building is being refurbished or whatever. But New Orleans, overrated. It's like the most overrated city in America. Ugh. All right, my opinion. And the food. Can we talk about the food? Okay, it's burnt. Stop acting like you invented some new way of serving fucking food. You burnt my chicken. That chicken is burnt. No, yeah, it's blackened. No, that's fucking burnt. You burnt it. And you want to make me think that I'm the one that's, not getting what's happening here. You burnt my fucking chicken. And then that music, it is like the worst. New Orleans music. It's the worst music ever. Holy shit. Anyway, okay. Look, if you're from New Orleans and you like it, look, good for you. I'm glad. That's nice. All right, New Orleans, number 5. The number 4 best city in America is Portland, Oregon. That's got to sting, MAGA. That's got to sting. Portland is beautiful. I've never been to Portland. But Portland is, from what I can tell, it is pretty beautiful. Last night, around about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was watching a live stream video on YouTube from Portland. They were protesting at one of the ice things. Yeah. Beautiful city. Looked really nice. I was like, that's nice. The ice facility. Okay, so like when I watch video of like people protesting the ice facility outside Chicago, the ice facility outside Chicago looks like a fucking prison. It's just like a block building and there's fencing around it, right? So you see the protesters and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, that's what an ice facility should look like. The fucking one in Portland looks like Tim Burton designed it. It's like, first of all, it's like green and yellow. It's like cool, poppy Portland color. Anyway, Portland seems very nice. Even their ice detention building seemed very nice. All right, that's number 4. Number 4 on the list of the best cities in America as rated by Condé Nast Traveler. Number 4, Portland, Oregon. Number 3 is Milwaukee. Oh, this makes my heart sing. Hey there, hi there, ho there, hey there. Stay in Milwaukee and die. That's a song. Milwaukee's cool, man. Milwaukee is a cool city. If you grew up in Chicago, Milwaukee, I try to tell people that, like, Milwaukee to Chicagoans is kind of like, it's kind of like what Fort Worth is to people in Dallas. It's like close enough that, like, if you had to go to a party in Milwaukee, you could. It's not crazy. You don't have to stay the night. You do, because, it's like an hour, but still, it's manageable. Milwaukee is such a fun city. It is such a cool city. Their lakefront sucks. Like, they got just as much lakefront as Chicago, but they didn't develop it the way Chicago did. It's more like very bland and all that. But if you are looking for a weekend to just go have a really good time, fucking Milwaukee, man. Milwaukee will surprise you. Better like beer. Oh, it's the brew city. A lot of beer. Milwaukee's cool. So that is great. Good for you, Milwaukee. What does it say? What does it say about Milwaukee? I'm a big supporter of Milwaukee. So much more than just a day trip from Chicago. Milwaukee has many, if not all, of the same qualities that make other cities on this list buzz. And then some. The city's surprisingly eco-diverse location on the shores of Lake Michigan make it a hotbed of... Okay, I don't know. Did you see that word there? Did you see LOCAVORE? Locavore cuisine? What is that? I don't know what that means. Fucking stupid Condé Nast elitist bullshitters. Located on the shores of Lake Michigan makes it a hotbed of locavore cuisine. A spate of award-winning restaurants has helped Milwaukee shed its beer and cheer reputation, though you can still get your fill of both between fine dinners. The dedicated revitalization of neighborhoods such as the historic 3rd Ward in Lincoln Village has also kept visitors busy with specialty shops, galleries, and more creative businesses. All right, you're awesome, Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. All right, that's number 3. Number 3 on our list of the biggest cities in America. How is Dallas going to be number 2? Dallas ain't going to be number 1, right? With Chicago. Chicago ain't going to even make the fucking list. We'll send the troops. Although Portland made the list. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 3 is Milwaukee, best big city in America. Number 2 is San Francisco. Well, again, you have to understand that Condé Nast is publishing their magazine for super wealthy people. Okay, so super wealthy people can go to San Francisco and still experience all the joys of San Francisco. right? San Francisco is a wonderful place if you've got millions of dollars in the bank. If you're a normal working person, San Francisco is a goddamn hellhole. And I know this because on my most recent trip to San Francisco, which was just a couple of years ago now, I was at the airport and I took the train from the airport to where the hotel was that we were staying. And it's like in the middle of, I don't know what that neighborhood is called there in San Francisco, but it's in the middle of everything. It's like the downtown area. So you come out of the ground and there's this big plaza, this big, beautiful plaza in the middle of downtown San Francisco. So we come out of the train tunnel, right? Walking up the stairs or escalators or whatever. And we come out and ground level is this beautiful Times Square-like plaza. Hundreds and hundreds of junkies and homeless people. As soon as you come out of that thing, your first view of San Francisco is, oh my God, it's Night of the Living Dead. This is Night of the fucking Living Dead. It was awful. So, if you're a regular person, no, don't go to San Francisco. But if you're a Condé Nast Traveler subscriber, you could probably get that penthouse booked at the Four Seasons and just look off on the beautiful bay and the mountains and see Modesto. Is it Modesto? No, it's not Modesto. Modesto. No, what is that place? What is that place that it's got a cool name? It's got a cool name. It's right across from the wharf. See all the lights over there? It's called... Mendocino? No, that's not it. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. San Francisco. If you're a regular person, it's a hellhole. If you're wealthy, it's probably nice. All right, guys, here we go. Condé Nast Traveler. Best big cities in America. Let's recount the top 5. We'll take you back to the top 5. We had number 5 on the list. Number 5 was New Orleans. That's garbage. Number 4 on the list of best big city in America, Portland, Oregon. Number 3 on the list of best big city in America, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 2 on the list of best big city in America, we've got San Francisco, California. Number 1 on the list of the best big city in America, as voted by the elite world travelers of Condé Nast Traveler. That's right, motherfuckers. My kind of town. Fuck you, people. By the way, just needs to be mentioned, 9 years in a fucking row. 9 years in a row. Chicago is now, by Condé Nast Traveler, voted once again the best big city in America. So go ahead, Jesse Waters. Suck my... See what it says about my hometown. It's no wonder Chicago tops this list yet again. A world-class destination known for its impressive architecture, first-rate museums, brilliant chefs, and massive brewing scene. It'll take several repeat visits to go through your first list of must-dos. Most people start downtown, from the Magnificent Mile to the ritzy Gold Coast to the funky Old Town area. But there are 77 neighborhoods to explore, where you'll find everything from cutting-edge restaurants, chilled-out corner bars, and no matter where you go, some of the most pleasant people you'll find anywhere. All right, there you go. It's a long way to go for me to say fuck you to all you people who have completely perverted ideas of what Chicago is. Rand Paul on the news last night, or not last night, 2 nights ago, Rand Paul, I mean, just look at Chicago. It's a war zone. Fuck you, not the Condé Nast Travelers, it ain't. They fucking rated it the best big city in America for the 9th year in a row. Let me tell you, though, I am a little bit upset that I didn't get a chance. Where's Dallas? Dallas doesn't even rank. It's like, yeah, whatever. But I guess other big cities that didn't rank, Dallas is a pretty good city. Dallas, you can have a lot of fun. I've never met anybody who's come to Dallas and been like, that city sucks. Everybody seems to like our city. What other cities? Atlanta. People like Atlanta. Atlanta didn't make the list. Miami didn't make the list. Los Angeles didn't make the list. New York came in at number 9. I can see that. Boston didn't make the list. Boston's a fun city. Oh my God. I mean, I hate the people of Boston. Don't get me wrong, at least in the terms of, sports thing. But if you go to Boston, you can have a great time in Boston. Boston is great. Worst cities. What are the worst cities? Now, I'm not going to say New Orleans. I just think New Orleans is absurdly overrated. What are the worst cities? Like, what's like a bad city where like I've been to it, I'm like, this fucking place sucks. I keep coming back to New Orleans, man. God, sorry. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the worst. This is the worst. And it's in the news. So I feel like I can take a big fucking steaming shit on it right now. Indianapolis, Indiana absolutely fucking sucks. That is a stupid city. That city is stupid. Oh, let's just move a couple of miles to the east. Also, I've got another stupid fucking city. St. Louis is a stupid fucking city. St. Louis used to be cool, but over the past 40 years, St. Louis, especially the downtown area, is just fucking garbage. It's like tumbleweeds. St. Louis sucks. Cleveland ain't bad. I've heard people talk shit on Cleveland. Cleveland ain't bad. Pittsburgh's awesome. Yeah, forget about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's fucking great. You ever seen a picture of Pittsburgh? So, I mean, I don't think people really understand how beautiful Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh, steel mills. Yeah, steel mills, rivers, valleys that come with rivers, mountains surrounding the river valleys. It's beautiful. Pittsburgh is gorgeous. Philadelphia sucks. There you go. That's one. I was in Philadelphia for like 4 days, and I'm like, I don't like this city at all. This city is stupid. All right, there you go. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. Let's wrap up the show. We've done 2 hours, so I think, we're pretty good. Here's one. I'll leave you with this. We'll do a little Karen story. We're going to watch a video. We're going to see a Karen in action. I'm going to explain what's going on here. Because again, this is do people not know how cabs work? Cabs. Now, I know that cabs aren't really a big thing anymore, but they are in certain cities. New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., East Coast cities still have a pretty strong cab industry, although nothing like it used to be. Uber and Lyft and ride shares, they've all sort of cut into that whole thing. But do people not know how cabs work? Like, it ain't Uber, all right? It's a totally different kind of thing. So anyway, here is a Karen. This is in New York City. She has found herself in a fight with the cab driver, which, look, I've been in a million cabs. If you're in a fight with the cab driver, it's you. I promise you, it's you. If you find yourself in a situation with a cab driver and it's going sideways, it's you, because that cab driver deals with a million people a day. That cab driver doesn't give a fuck about you. That cab driver just wants you to get out so he can get on to the next fare. If you are finding yourself in some kind of situation where people are yelling at each other, whatever, it's you, okay? It's you. So here, let's watch this. This is from New York City. This is a woman. We'll call her a Karen because that is exactly what she is doing. The Karen did not like the route that the cab driver had taken to her hotel. So the Karen decided that she's not going to pay the cab driver. Okay. So the cab driver, as is his recourse, the cab driver decided that he was not going to let her take her luggage out of his cab until he was fucking paid. Now, again, this out of town lady, she apparently knows better. She keeps showing her phone like she was looking at the map, and she thinks that this cab driver took her out of the way and blah, blah, blah. Just, knowing how cab drivers work, there are some shady cab drivers who will peg you as somebody that they can take for a ride and charge you a huge bill. But also, especially in a city like New York City, there isn't one route that the cab driver is going to take from the airport to the hotel. Why? Because this cab driver knows about traffic condition. He knows about streets that are closed. He's going to go different ways, okay? So whatever it is that your little Google Map app or whatever says is the best way, if he deviates for that, it's because he's a fucking cab driver, lady. It's because he knows what he's doing. So that's the situation. She is not going to pay for this cab ride, and she is demanding her bags right now. A crowd is gathered out in front of this hotel, and it is a totally New York crowd who completely understands how cabs work. Let's watch this Karen in action. I've given you the context. She didn't pay. He's withholding her bags, and now a crowd has formed. By the way, look at what she's doing. It's a white lady screaming, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" We're all supposed to drop everything and help the fucking Karen in distress. That's what she's playing. She's playing right now. I'm a woman. No, you're not paying the fucking cab fare, lady. Pay the man, get your bag, shut your mouth. Enjoy New York City.
Call the police. Somebody call the police. Did you pay your fare? Did you pay your fare?
Did you pay your fare? What's going on here? What did you pay? If you pay him, he's going to give you the bag. What's going on here?
No, it's call the police. Call the police. Somebody call the police. Did you pay your fare? Did you pay your fare?
No, he took a ride around the whole city.
No, he took a ride around the whole city. Did you pay your fare, lady? No, he took a ride around this. She doesn't think that if his driving doesn't match her expectations, that she doesn't have to pay. So no, he didn't do it the way I wanted. So I'm taking this ride for free. That is Karen behavior at an apex level. What world does she live in where this is okay? Where she can just decide that she's not going to pay him because she didn't like the way the cab driver was driving.
Did you pay your fare?
No, he took a ride around the whole city and is double charged me. Now I'm just in my bus.
You gotta pay your fare.
I see you, my boyfriend.
You gotta pay your fare.
You gonna pay your fare, lady. Hey, that's just how it is in New York City. Lady, look, where you from? You from Columbus? You gotta pay your fare.
You gotta pay your fare. You gotta pay your fare. You gotta pay your fare.
He went around the whole city without using a GPS.
He didn't use, he didn't even use a GPS. He's a fucking cab driver in New York City. He's probably been doing it for 20 years before GPS was invented. He doesn't need to use GPS, lady. Fucking Karen.
I'm calling the fucking company. That's okay. I got his license.
You gotta pay your fare.
I just love that. All right. I love the peanut gallery. I love that. I love the guys just like, construction workers, whatever they're saying. You got to pay your fare, lady. Lady, you got to pay. I ain't helping you. You got to pay that fare. You pay it. He's going to give you the bag. Maybe we call the police. Let's call the police. Let's get the police involved. It's the kind of bullshit we bother the police with because Karen from Columbus didn't like the way the cab driver took her to the hotel. That's tough. That's tough. All right, let's see. Do I have anything else? I do not. I think that's it. I think we're going to be done. Hey, guys, I do need to invite you to come on out tonight. We're going to be at Bottle Rockets 8 to 10, myself and James Parker. It ain't just trivia, although trivia is enough to come out for on its own. No, we also do music bingo. Music bingo. Music bingo's fun. I didn't even know it was a thing. I mean, I know it was a thing, but I never really looked into it. And then Brandon from Sunbrew was like, dude, we should do music bingo. And I'm like, yeah, is that going to be fun? And then I looked at it and I was like, this could be fun. This could be fun. So music bingo with 2 rounds of trivia tonight at the Bottle Rocket. They're at Legacy Village in the Tollway. Right there in Plano, Texas. 8 to 10. Myself and James Parker. We got all kinds of prizes. Come on by and get yourself registered for the American For the American Metal Whiskey Trash Trivia Tournament of Trash. Big money prizes, 500 and whatnot. All right, that's tonight. One more time. Wednesday night is the location for Trash Trivia Games. By the way, once again, please go to Facebook and like Trash Trivia Games DFW on Facebook. That's going to be sort of the epicenter for what we're doing. All right, that's tonight. Tomorrow is Thursday. We will be back Thursday. I got no game this week. My kid doesn't have a game this week. Remember last week, my kid, I told you about the situation with my kid where he didn't dress because he had a hip. He got a lower body. He had a hip thing, so he didn't even dress for the game because he apparently was limping around in practice. And the coach was like, nah, you're going to sit this one. We got a bye week next week. You're going to take 2 weeks off. They won last week. It was a team that apparently they felt pretty comfortable beating. They won by like 30 points last week without my kid, but I didn't drive to the game. He told me, he's like, yeah, I'm not even dressing. I'm like, well, then I'm not driving an hour and a half in North Dallas traffic. You just let me know. You text me during the game. You be able to text. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, text me during the game. Give me updates. Maybe shoot a few videos. And That'll be good. So that was last week. So this week is a bye. This week there's no game. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go to a game. I'm going through Texas high school football withdrawals. What else do I need to mention? I got nothing else. Okay, I love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff. You're the best. American Metal Whiskey, Bottle Rockets tonight. Bye, everybody. That's all. I got nothing more to say.